All right. All right. Got 30 seconds left for this 5-minute candle. I'm going to wait for now for this 5-minute candle before I go on different time frames. Go ahead and mark it out real quick. Got a high. Low. All right, let me go to, let's start off on the hourly chart. Starting off on the hourly chart, pushing above the 200. Dang, boy. Pushing above the 200, which sign we could have some continuation now, moving to the upside, possibly. Interesting. 15-minute chart. Taking out some highs up there. Got some imbalances that got left behind. Possible fill for these imbalances. Right below that 5-minute range, we have a pretty decent size imbalance. So that's a potential bounce area. We'll see. But taking out those highs up there. See what happens from here on out. Yeah, still stuck in that 5-minute range though. And from there, we kind of just wait to see, what's it gonna do? We got view op down there, so I would like a little bit of a pullback, maybe take out these lows before. Obviously, don't want to buy at the very top. You want to wait for a correction to happen. In terms of what the heck? Want to wait for a correction to happen, pretty much. Was gonna check news. Give me a second. News. Let's see. Got pending home sales at 10 a.m., which is orange folder, so may get a little bit of volatility, but probably nothing crazy. So gotta watch out for that 10 a.m. Hopefully we get a little bit of a pullback before 10 a.m. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I think it was for the 5-minute chart. We got this 5-minute low, and then we got that right under that 5-minute. We have that imbalance right there. So It's like, I'm not gonna buy these breakouts up here. I gotta wait for this thing to pull back. I gotta do it. Because if I don't, I get wrecked. Wrecked. Forming some structure here, though. I think it's gonna. I think it at least comes down to take out this 5-minute low here. I think we at least come down there to take that out. Buyers have been pretty freaking strong. We got this big uptrend here, so. If we break the 50s, we're going to 25,000. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, those... So that, like, these lows right here, these 44s, kind of the line in the sand, right? So, we'll see. If it starts breaking structure to the downside from the 44s, probably going to go to those 25,000, probably 962s, that low of the 5-minute. So that's why it's kind of a dangerous area to be buying, because we're most likely going to get some form of a pullback, right? Usually do. Is this thing gonna freaking... Oh my gosh. This news crap that they do this, where they release news at 10 a.m. I think all news should be released at 9:45. I mean, not 9:45, 8:30. So that by the time the market opens, there's no news. Everybody knows what's going on. Nobody has to wait. When you get news releases at like 10 a.m., a lot of times the market starts to chop around. And then you're just sitting there waiting. Seeing if this thing can really start to... It's having trouble going up, right? Continuing up. So... At least to that 5-minute imbalance that we got there would be nice. Are you using Ninja or Trade of 8? I'm using Ninja Trader. But I use the Trade of 8. I use Ninja Trader, but I have a Trade of 8 connection on my Ninja Trader. So, because I do copy trading, I have my Apex accounts are my Rhythmic connections. And then my Take Profit Trader accounts are my Trade of 8 connections. So, connection-wise, I have Trade of 8, but... actual platform is a Ninja Trader. Which it also honestly depends on your style of trading, right? Somebody that, you know, maybe wants a little more features, Trade of 8 probably has a little more, has more features But I'm somebody who's a price action based trader. I just need a platform that's reliable. I don't need a platform that has problems or it's gonna have glitches, you know. So I kind of chose Ninja from the beginning, most popular platform, and I think Ninja owns Tradeovate, if I'm not mistaken. So. How many accounts you copy trade across all accounts? Yeah, I have I have 7 accounts. I have 7 accounts and all 7 get copy traded. Some people like to do the split, you know, where they have like 6 or 7 accounts. They'll trade 3 accounts they'll trade 3 accounts and they'll switch over to 3 other accounts and kind of trade them separately. But I'm more of like I trade from 9:30 till 11, so if I don't see anything by 11, I kind of hop off. If I take a loss on my accounts, you know, it is what it is. I hop off. I'm not somebody who's gonna. I guess it's more of a preference thing, than anything. Also, depending on how aggressive you are in your accounts, like somebody who takes a lot of trades, or you somebody who is patient for that one trade. Yeah, it's NASDAQ. Feels good to copy trade the way you trade. Yeah, so the good thing about it is, and like people see me like taking, like, so I can have my sizing way down, right? I can take like $100, $200 trades. And people are like, dude, that's $100 trade. It's a $200 trade. It's nothing big. But when you multiply it across 7 accounts, it starts to add up. $200 or $100 trade on one account. So, and it puts you in the mental, like your P&L. When you see 100 or 200 bucks, it doesn't really affect you mentally, but it is way more than 100 or 200 bucks. Alright, we're still pushing up. I'm very weary to buy these breakouts. I don't like it because I feel like a pullback is coming. And last thing I want to do is get stuck in a pullback. Like, try to long and then it pulls back on me and I get stopped out. But then again, it's like, do I take the risk of it potentially possibly continuing up? That's likely. Where it just doesn't have a pullback. The way it's been moving... Considering the way it's been moving throughout the whole, since what? Since 8 a.m.? I mean, we've just been on a straight uptrend without any pullbacks, really, without any... So, we'll see, maybe. If it displaces enough, I think I'd be willing to take a very small position size for a potential quick scalp. If the risk to reward is worth it. It may be worth it. You know, and it's like, if you do take a loss, have your stop right below the lows right here. And it's nothing crazy, right? It's like a small loss versus... So we'll see. Yeah, I'll potentially... I'll maybe try one what's it called? Just for a quick reaction. Nothing, I'll be risking like 80 bucks or whatever. It's nothing crazy. Just because I don't want to risk a lot, because it is more dangerous of a trade if I do take this trade, just because of where we are. Like I said, we're probably going to get a pullback eventually. I would just be wanting to look off that reaction, off this previous resistance. If that resistance turns into support, you kind of want to get a quick reaction off of it. So we'll see how price reacts here. Also, we got a pivot point there. That's the other part where pivot point could hold us down. Come on. On a little bit of a... Seeing if it can pull back just a little bit. Grab along on this. Yeah, I'm trying to... Like I said, I wouldn't mind grabbing along if this does pull back, but this thing is not pulling back. Yeah, we also broke that 5-minute range. Here, give me a second. Let me grab something real quick. Broke the resistance. Yeah, broke the resistance of the 5-minute too. So let's see. If this thing can pull back. Patience. That pivot point does scare me. I'm not gonna lie. Crap, hold on. Oh crap, did I miss it? Oh, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. Crap. Man. Are you freaking kidding me, dude? Oh my gosh, dude. Can't believe I'm... Should have stayed on the freaking chart instead of... Oh... Man, it freaking sucks. I was looking for that reaction. That's the reaction I was looking for original. Filling that imbalance, that last imbalance, and you get a reaction off that imbalance. Ooh. Pivot point, man. Now if it comes down, I don't want it. Like at this point now, if it comes down, I don't want it anymore, because it's already filled that imbalance. We already had that reaction, so if it can't continue to the top, if it starts pulling back, now I'm scared that we could go for those lows down there, right? If we failed that initial bounce to go higher, like to the top, then so you got to be careful. That pivot point scares the crap out of me. Like, pivot points, a lot of times it's hard for price to get above, you know, to get through pivot points. So, look, like you could see, look, it's holding it as resistance right now. I mean, that was what? 10, 20, like 25, almost 30 point move right off that imbalance, which is not bad. I mean, it's like a 1-to-1 risk to reward if you had your stop kind of at the lows down here, maybe below this. Or if you had your stop below this imbalance right here. Pretty much a 1-to-1, which isn't bad. When's 10 a... Got 3 minutes left for that 10 o'clock news, so we'll see what happens. It's orange folder, so it may have some impact. Let's wait for I'm gonna wait for this thing to pull back deeper. So this is why I do not want to buy on the second test. It may shoot back up, but I feel like at some point it's gonna want to correct and start maybe taking out some of these lows down here, like we did yesterday, right? We were waiting for that correction yesterday, and it came toward 11 o'clock, but you ended up getting that correction where it started taking out all those lows, and then you got a good move off the correction too. Where you been? It's been a while. Yeah, I took like a little bit of a break. And I've been going to bed I've been going to bed late, so it's been like hard to get up in the morning. But so I ended up taking a little bit of a break, but I'm back. Breaks are good in trading too. It gives you that, like, you know, you come back all refreshed and you know, you're not forcing things. You're just kind of. So if you need a break from trading, I would advise it. It does help. Which I didn't take a break because I needed I didn't necessarily need a mental reset. I just kind of I've been going to bed late, so I figured I'm just like I might as well just take a break from trading for a little bit. That's the difficult part when you're self-employed. That is the hardest part about being self-employed, is like, if you go to bed super late, I don't have anybody forcing me to get up. Like, you know, I'm not like, if I don't get up and I don't go to work, I'm going to get fired. That kind of forces you to go to work, even if you're tired. But when you're self-employed and you go to bed super late and the alarm clock goes off, and you're like, let me sleep in a little bit more. Let me sleep in a little bit more. Like, it's a double-edged sword. I guess it's good as long as you don't get lazy and don't get, like... Very easy to get lazy, though. Looking for longs or shorts? I'm only looking for longs. We had one opportunity here that I stepped away for a second and I missed out. I was hoping it wasn't gonna... I missed out, but it's fine. You didn't really get it to the highs though. It just pushed up to the pivot point, which is like 30 points off this reaction, off this imbalance right here. This is kind of what I like to look for, similar to this kind of setup, right? When you have a level like this, where you have price hitting and rejecting, then it tries to hit it again and reject it, and it tries to hit it again and reject it. And look, on the fourth time, it ends up breaking out. So then you get this breakout, you get all this volume step in, you get all these buyers start stepping in. Look how it closes. It closes way up here. So my mentality is, all right, now if we get a correction, all this resistance, now if we get a pullback, is going to hold as support. You're going to have buyers stepping right back in at this level. And that's exactly what we got. So price ended up correcting itself, pulling back, tapping into this last imbalance right here. And we got this previous resistance turning into support. And look at the reaction you get. Boom, you get buyers stepping immediately, and you get this little uptrend that happens. But ends up rejecting. We have a pivot point there, so rejecting off the pivot point. So, yeah. That's kind of what I like. That's what I like to look for. That's an example of a good trade. Didn't quite get to the very top, and that's why I think you have to have pivot points to understand. Like I said it before, it's going to have a hard time getting through that pivot point. Pivot points are this like barrier for price, so taking profits, if you have a pivot point, taking profits sometimes a little bit early, like if you normally maybe take it at the highs right here, all right, 10 points, you're giving up 10 points, and look, you would have got stopped out if you were trying to go for the highs. But if you saw that pivot point and you're like, all right, let me take profits right before that pivot point, you would have been fine. So they're used as like gauges that... Looks good for longs or shorts here. I would, me personally, I try to stay away from shorts when we're above the view up. When we've been uptrending, like when we have this crazy, oh crap. When we have this crazy of an uptrend, right? I try to stay away from shorts just because you're going against momentum, right? Momentum is to the upside. Now, we do have these little pullbacks that do happen, right? We do have these little pullbacks, but overall, it's been very bullish, especially we're way above VWAP. Now, we could get a correction down to VWAP, but I like to keep my bias with the flow so that it just sets me up in a better position. Because when you go with the flow, even if you make a mistake, you're going with the flow. Sometimes you get rewarded even if you make a mistake because you're going with the trend. See if see, we have this last, we have an imbalance down there, which would be kind of interesting if it could really get down there. We're breaking back into the 5-minute. Oh, crap. So that news had absolutely no reaction off that news. But we are starting to form a little bit of a downtrend here. We made this high. Here's the first lower high. Then we have another lower high. Now we have another lower high. So we are starting to make a downtrend. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm kind of waiting for. I want this thing to flush. Possibly, maybe even to the 200. Right? We have this gold line. We have this gold line down there. That's the 200. Would be right near VWAP. VWAP is kind of down there too. So it would just give you so much better of an opportunity if it does end up dropping down here. Like, the opportunity could be great, especially if it gives you, like, a similar setup to this, where we kind of, right, similar setup to this, where we kind of drop down there, we form some structure, and then we start breaking out of that structure like that, and then correct itself, and you just have so much more potential. Versus up here, you're taking this trade, you kind of have to go for a quick scalp, because you don't know when it's going to reverse. Dun, dun, dun. But that's the hard part about trading. You have to wait and wait and wait and wait. And if you get something, amazing. Sometimes you wait and you don't get anything. I've had times where I've come into the market day after day. There's been streaks where I'm like 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, and no trades. Just because your price action isn't giving you what you want, or... There was one setup today, so... Yesterday, the setup started to happen, but it was like already starting to get past 11 o'clock, so... Lately, it's been moving pretty... Like, this is... I don't know why it's moving so slow. Bring back the times where NQ would just, like... flush to the downside, then it would take out a low, then you would get a rip right back up to the upside. Oh, good old days. When you get your face torn off if you're not careful. We do also have, if you look on the 15-minute chart, this right here, I mean... You would think there's going to be some level of support. Look at this wick right there. I don't know. That wick is pretty crazy. So you would think that we could get some level of support. Plus we have an imbalance, which it sort of tapped into that imbalance on the 15 minute. Kind of barely tapped into that imbalance, and then you got that reaction off it. But still forming lower highs. But we are, on the hourly chart, we are above the 200, which is, you know, you would think could get a pullback toward that 200 and then hold it as support. Also, that low of the 5 minute you see right there, that blue, that low of the 5 minute is also that 200 on the hourly chart. So that's interesting. And you got a lot of imbalances. You got another hourly imbalance right there. So a lot of buying pressure at that low would probably come in, just assuming. Come on, move faster. This thing's moving slow as. Ba, 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 ba. Oh my gosh, this price action. Why is it? This is kind of similar to what's happening yesterday. Except we're doing it to the downside now. But, and then toward 11 o'clock is when it actually started to move good. Like, what are these dinky little candles? Come on. There you go. Man, it is so hard to be patient. Oh. Yeah, we're pulling back into that 5 minute. See what happens if we get a reaction here. But I like this one right here. I prefer this last. This is this isn't a bad bounce area, potential bounce area. We'll see how price reacts. I mean, if price can form structure and start showing that it's gonna want to go back up, then absolutely. But I don't want to just buy, right? I don't want to just long just because we're in a gap. I want to wait for something like this where we have structure start to form, where maybe it starts to go a little bit sideways here, and then it starts to break out of that structure like we did, like with this leg, just as a confirmation. So then I can go with price. I don't have to guess if we're gonna bounce here or not. Getting that confirmation I think is what's important. And that's what I look for. That's why it sometimes doesn't happen. If you don't get that confirmation, meaning this break out of the structure, displacement, fair value gap, then really nothing to take. I mean, it's just you're guessing at that point. Question is, how deep is it going to pull back to the VWAP? Because we have VWAP right now at 918. Well, VWAP is still a decent way away. 918s, which right under the 200. So right where my cursor is down here, that's where VWAP is. So far, no buyers. Buyers are nowhere to be found. Da, 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 da. Wow, prices freaking holy crap, man. There you go. This is more of it. This is the kind of movement that's... Looks like it wants to go for that 5-minute low. We are tapping that the wick of that 15-minute also. Remember I showed the 15-minute. Actually, let me go on the hourly chart. I think hourly chart shows it better. You got this massive wick right here. It's kind of tapping right now. And then if we take out this 5-minute low, we're also gonna tap right into that imbalance. So probably, I would assume we get some form of reaction if we take out this low here. I would assume down at these 5-minute lows, we'll get some sort of reaction back up to the upside. Again, I need to see some structure. I'm not somebody who just guesses, hey, let's buy down here, it's tapping here, let's long. No, I like to see this right here. Structure, breakout, imbalance, tap right into it, reaction off it. Wanted to get into trading, thinking of starting with funded accounts. Yeah, I mean that's one way to probably that's one way to go. Trading on a sim account, some form of a sim account would probably be the best. Like if you can call up NinjaTrader and you can just get a simulated account like for free, and you could just trade on a simulated account for free on NinjaTrader. That would be the best way to go, because that way you're not spending any money. But funded accounts are a way to go too, because you're gonna blow them. Let's face it, you're learning, so you're gonna blow them. So expect to blow those accounts. So what you want to do is you want to get the cheapest accounts possible. It's probably with Apex. Apex has probably got some of the cheapest accounts out there. So if you just position yourself accordingly, so you're not blowing an account every single day, but you can kind of risk just enough money per day so that maybe you blow one account a month, right? So it's not the or Lucid. I don't know who's got the cheapest accounts right now. I'm kind of out of the loop of pricing and all that. But yeah, you want to do your research and figure out who's got the cheapest accounts, and then go from there, and just kind of figure out what your drawdown. If your drawdown is $2,000, you know, don't risk more than, I would say, don't risk more than $200 per trade. Depending on how many trades you take a day too. That's assuming you take one trade a day. If you're taking multiple trades a day, don't risk more than like $100 and just go from there. Like, make sure that account stretches out, because you don't want to, you're going to lose money. You're going to, it's a learning process. So you're going to blow accounts. Your goal isn't to pass the account. Your goal is to learn. So learn from your mistakes and figure out what you're doing wrong. Now, that's what people do, is they when they're learning, they get an account, they go full port on one trade, they pass the account, and they think they're on top of the world. They think they've cracked the code to trading. I passed an account. Oh my gosh, I'm profiting. Like, bruh, that's not how it works. And then all you end up doing is actually screwing yourself, because you're, depending on what prop firm you go to, if you have to pay an activation fee, you pay the activation fee and all that. So you spend all this money just to blow the account again. So you almost don't want to pass the account unless there's no activation fee and you pass it, then awesome. But all right, so we got a reaction off that wick pretty much, right? Ooh, man. See, I don't like when we get reaction, like V-shaped reactions off of levels. I love when we get structure start to form. I mean, that's just how I trade. That's just how, probability-wise, I view that as like higher probability than, you know. So we're kind of getting a reaction off this wick right here. We pushed in a little deeper, but ugh. But yeah, do your research. I mean, prop firms are always, what does Apex have right now? I honestly haven't even checked any of the prop firms, what's going on. I guess I could do that right now. Never pay full price either. There's always some form of discount, some form of affiliate code. I guess it's 85% off, depending on which accounts you get. Lucid, problem is I don't know like what the discount code, like what the I mean, historically, Apex, depending on how you look at, so Apex for beginners historically has always been the cheapest, right? Because when you start to factor in activation fees, yeah, then Apex is pretty much with everybody else. But if you don't factor activation fees, like if somebody's just learning and they're going to be blowing evaluation accounts, then historically Apex has always been the cheapest. But yeah, when you factor in activation fees, like you're someone who knows how to trade and is trying to pass an account to get put in a funded account, and you're looking at actual activation fees, then yeah, that changes the whole ball game. Lucy got the best deals with 50% discount, any 50K account for $65, no activation fee. And with Apexes, you get 90% off, and they charge you 100. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. It's Apex's. It's got a crazy discount, and for the evaluations, it's very cheap. But the activation fee they charge you for, so it ends up being sometimes more expensive. But again, you gotta weigh the, like Apex, you got all these, you can copy trade multiple accounts, you can, you know, you keep the first $25,000 of every account, so they do have their benefits too. Also a pretty reputable firm. But yeah, for someone who's just learning, they don't care about activation fees because they don't need to activate an account. Preferably they don't activate an account because you don't want to, you're just wasting money. You're going to activate an account just to blow it. That's what people do. And it's just like, if you just want to give away $100, like give it to some person that needs it. Don't just, just give it away just to, are you trading MNQs? Yeah, I only trade MNQs. I don't trade NQs. I don't see a reason to trade NQs. The reason is because the point system is too much. Like, I put my stop losses at areas of invalidation. So let's just hypothetically say if I want to only risk $200 per trade, like let's see this trade right here. Look, for example, this trade right here, this break and retest trade that we had. Let's just hypothetically say I was trading, I want to risk only $200 per trade. So if I get in right there, the retest of that imbalance, so it taps right into it, retests it. All right, I'm in this trade. I only want to risk 200. My stop has to be 10 points right there. You see how tight, how freaking tight my stop has to be? So it's very easy for you to get stopped out. When in reality, your stop should be closer to these lows down here. Right? Your stop should be somewhere at the lows down here. Possibly maybe this first low or the second low, depending on your preference. But with micros, I'm able to adjust. I'm able to risk 200 and my stop be at the correct area. So that's why you're able to adjust your stop loss very easily based on the risk you're wanting to take. And then here's the thing. Sometimes you get to a point where you like the trade, but you're not super confident in the trade, but you're willing to take the trade. Like, it's not the perfect trade, but it's not a horrible trade. So maybe you just size down. Maybe you, instead of risking $200 a trade, you're risking only $100 a trade. So you have so much flexibility with M and Qs that you don't have with NQs. And NQs are for people like when you're already at a level where you're trading insane account balance, where $200 when you're, let's just hypothetically say you're trying to make $2,000 a trade, then you're kind of like, it makes sense to make that transition to NQs. But even with prop firms, you should not be risking per account. You should not be risking $2,000 a trade. That's like insane. How long does it take to get your first payout on Apex? I requested last week and it's been 5 business days. I mean, they're pretty quick, especially right now with the new rules. There's no denials. Maybe they're a little backed up, but usually pretty decently quick. Especially now with the new Apex. They should be even faster, right? That's what they're claiming. Right? What are they claiming? Right? End of day drawdown, no payout denials. Which I don't get how that works. No payout denials. What is that like? How does that work? What do they just don't deny it? That doesn't make sense to me. No payout denials. So what? People just aren't. I don't know. That's it. All right, this may be interesting. If we could actually start to see, this is starting to form some structure. If we can start breaking out of the structure like we did the first time, right? Like we did right there, I would be interested in possibly going for a long. Yeah, I don't know how that works. I don't get it. No payout. So what? If somebody breaks a rule, you're not going to deny them a payout? How does that make sense? Maybe it's just a marketing thing. But you can't just say stuff just for marketing. That's false advertisement. They can get sued for that. Like, you can't just make claims that aren't true like that. So, I don't know. So we're not, structure's here, but so far we're not breaking out of it. Arbitrage? What do you mean by arbitrage? Started digging into these prop firms, but they were a little confusing to me. What are what would I typically look to spend to get started, including monthly fees, test period, etc.? Well, that all depends on the prop firm and depends on how fast you pass evaluations, right? Like, hypothetically speaking, if you get an evaluation, right? Let's say you paid, I don't know what it is right now for an evaluation with Apex. Probably like 30 something bucks, 40 bucks maybe, 40 something bucks. Let's just hypothetically say you spent $40 on an evaluation. If you spent 40 bucks on an evaluation, then if you do, like, if you're still in that evaluation by the renewal period, a month later, you get renewed 40 bucks. So you have to pay 40 bucks again. And during the month, if you fail the account, you have to cancel the account. You have to buy a new account and so on for evaluation. So evaluations, you pay the monthly fee or whatever, and you trade. Once you pass the evaluation, once you reach your profit target, then you get put in a funded account. Now, some prop firms have no activation fees, where you just pay for the evaluation. Typically, the prop firms that have no activation fees, they have a higher evaluation fee for the evaluation accounts. Apex has an activation fee, so for the accounts, typically the evaluation phase is a lot lower. But they kind of end up balancing out pretty much similarly. Maybe one's a little more expensive, but they're pretty equal. So, and then once you get put in a funded account, there's no monthly fees. But with Apex, you have to make sure you choose the lifetime when you're activating the accounts, the lifetime and not the monthly. And when you have the lifetime, in other prop firms, you don't pay the fee anymore. Like right now, I have 5 accounts with Apex, funded accounts, and 2 with Take Profit Trader. I don't pay any monthly fees. So I don't have to worry about quickly passing and doing all this. And you get those accounts, you kind of trade them, you take your time, you don't pay any more fees, you just, you know. So it's not super complicated. You get the hang of it once you start trading the accounts. And but yeah, it's a great opportunity if you can become a patient, disciplined trader and you learn how to trade. I mean, you can absolutely take payouts and start milking prop firms, you know, start taking. So, but one other thing I would say, make sure you go with popular prop firms. Don't go with some no-name, Like, don't just Google prop firms and then go with some no-name prop firm that ends up, you know, you do all the hard work and then they deny you payouts. Like, don't do that. Go with a prop firm that's actually been in the game, that's reputable, right? You have Apex, you have Take Profit Trader, you have Lucid Trading, you have, I mean, there's other prop firms that are pretty on top of it, so. Ugh. All right, we're starting to maybe break out here, hopefully. Like, we're not getting the oomph we got with the first breakout, like this one. Right? This first breakout, you got volume, you got so many buyers stepping in. Now this one is just like, you're not getting a breakout. It's just kind of sweeping the high and then dumping right back down. Kind of stuck sideways. Where's the range you're looking at? 34 to 80. The range, I'm not really looking at a specific range. I mean, these blue lines you see are the 5-minute range, the first 5 minutes of market open. Oh, structure. Yeah, like you see here, we have the structure we have the lows right here from the 44s, and then we have the highs, yeah, to the 76s. So you got this little structure. I mean, you can see how price has a hard time, right? It tried to keep pushing, got rejected. Did it a second time, got rejected. Did it a third time, got rejected. And then finally, when it broke out, you get all this volume stepping in. So then old support, the general rule in trading is old support can turn into new resistance. So that's what happened. We got a pullback, all this resistance level now turned into support, tapped into it, and we got a little bit of a move right up, a reaction off of it. But see here, what's happening here, we're not getting the reaction that we did on the first breakout. This is just like, you see how it pushes up and then it fails to even displace, fails to form any kind of imbalances, and you don't get the buying pressure stepping in behind you. It's like, it's almost how you look at it is, you get the structure, you get the breakout, and the imbalance, you get an imbalance form because it displaces. So you have that imbalance form because of the displacement. So now that confirmation, you could see on your chart that there's buyers stepping in very aggressively. And then you wait for the pullback to maybe the last imbalance, the very beginning of the last, like the very top of the imbalance. Boom, and it taps, just slightly can tap into it. You get your entry and then buyers step right back in. So you kind of like go with the momentum of all the buyers. But the thing that sucks about that, right? The thing that sucks about that is you will have times where you get structure, it breaks out of the structure, you get the imbalance, but guess what? It never pulls back and it just keeps running to the upside. So there is times where it leaves you and it freaking sucks because you just, like, it's a perfect setup and then it just leaves without you and doesn't give you the entry you want, which is fine. I mean, again, it's part of trading. But see what happens when you don't get displacement? It just ends up being a sweep and then you get a move right back down. You don't want to get caught in a false breakout, or that's why I wait for confirmations to not get caught in false breakouts. I mean, a false breakout is pretty much like a sweep. It's pretty much the same thing. You want whatever you want to call it. Liquidity sweep, false breakout. it's the same thing. Man. I'm a bit scared. Many things are true, like the largest updates happens to be in bear market. That's here, give me a second, I'll be back. All right, sorry, yeah, so it depends also. Here's the thing, it depends how you trade. It depends how you trade. And like for me, for example, I understand the market condition we're in. For example, this first trade right here, like why would this only be a scalp? Like, first of all, we got a pivot point there. First of all, we got a pivot point right there. Second of all, we've already pushed up so much. Like I was saying, we're going to get a reversal at some point. It's going to want to correct itself at some point. So these kind of like, when we're pushing highs and you want to take a trade, those are all scalps. You got to get in and get out. You got to get in, take your money, get out. Because you don't know when that reversal is coming up. Now, with something like this, when we get a pullback this deep, right? You see how much more opportunity you have to the upside. So when you get this big of a pullback, then you have way more potential to the upside versus when you're already at the top, right? Generally, you don't want to buy high and sell higher. Typically, people want to buy low and sell high. So, and there's nothing wrong with necessarily buying high and selling higher. You just got to understand that that's a scalp, and don't try to, go for some crazy. You got to understand where you are in the chart, because we do have times when the market makes highs and just keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. But generally speaking, yeah, you want pullbacks. You want price to come to you, right, for a good setup. And if it doesn't come to you, then you don't take a trade. But you trade long enough, you start to get to a point where you realize good setups. Like, there are certain setups where you're like, damn, I love this trade right here. Those are the kind of trades you want to take. You want to take a trade where you look at it and go, wow, this is an amazing trade. We have structure. We're breaking out of structure and left behind an imbalance. Like, whatever your rules are, right? Maybe you don't trade that style, but whatever you trade, you have certain rules, and every rule is getting checked off, and it's just perfect, right? We're above VWAP. It's bullish. We're just making a slight pullback. We got structure. We're breaking out. There's an inbound. You have all these things that are lining up, and it looks like an amazing trade to you. And let's just hypothetically say you take the trade and you lose money. Let's just say you get stopped out. Guess what? You still can walk away and go, well, that's a good trade. I would take that trade every single time I see that trade. That's the kind of trades you want to take. To be able to take a loss, walk away and go, well, that's fine, because I would still take that trade 10 out of 10 times I see it. That's how disciplined and stick to your rules you have to be. But when you start to kind of trade, you know, randomly, you start to buy just because price is going up, you start to sell just because price is going down, and you're kind of like, you're trading with your emotions, then it becomes a problem. You're just gambling. That's all you're doing. Why does my top step start showing 25,055 and my trade of 8 is showing 24? It's probably lagging. Either make sure you have real-time data. You should have real-time data. I had that before, actually. Where my accounts, I forgot what it. I had that for a little bit where my accounts were lagging. That's why I have another brokerage account and I can see if my chart's lagging. Right now, actual price is 25,086. Yeah, so it's pretty much on the dot. What do I do? What I did, it depends. Are you copy trading or not? Because if you're freaking Alex, get out of here, man. Sorry yourself out of here. Oh, you're not copy trading? What I would try to do is try to, so, I don't know how to trade of it. If you're on Trade of 8 or you're on Top Step. See, I don't know how Top Step platform is. Like on Ninja Trader, what I would do is I have my connections. What I would do is I turn off the connection. So it kind of like shuts the connection off. And then I reconnect it and I turn back the connection back on. And then when it reconnects, it connects to it, to accurate price. That's what it would do for me. So if there's a way to kind of maybe turn off the connection and reset the connection somehow, that's what I did on my Ninja Trader. It could be it could also be a problem with Top Step. Top Step could have issues. I mean, they're kind of they're known to have issues, so. But if you have trade of 8, I mean, there should be a way to reset the connection. I had that before where. Oh, issue is on my trade of. Okay, yeah, try to reset it somehow. Maybe Trade of 8's having issues today, but I had that too. I had it with my Ninja Trader. I had it for like 3 days where it was just lagging. Like it was just behind so much. And you have to keep an eye out on, because if you don't and you don't realize price is lagging, you think that's actual price. What happens is you end up taking a trade and like you'll enter a trade and then your trade will get filled like way up here. I've had that before where it's like, all right, let me buy this. I buy it and then I get filled way at the top because it fills you at the actual price, not where you thought it was. So you end up being like crazy in the red. Yeah, it's a... But yeah, mine usually fixed itself when I reset the connection. See, we're failing to break out. We can't get any sort of breakout. They're all sweeps. First was a sweep. Now the second one is a sweep. None of them are breakouts. There's no volume behind these. Oh, is expired? Oh, did you not update your contracts? That'll do it. No, this is not a good push for me personally. There's no volume behind it. See, there's not that confirmation. There's just like buyers aren't stepping in aggressive enough. And here's the thing about trading. If you want to make money in trading, you got to have buyers stepping in after you, right? So it's almost like if you're trying to long and there's no buying pressure, then either you get stuck in chop or you need buying pressure for price to get to your TP. So these breakouts, it's not showing me personally that buyers are stepping in. Now, this may just grind super slowly to the upside, but it's not that force I like to see where it really... Yeah, that's good you didn't take any trades. Good thing you caught it. I wonder if it would even let you. It may not even let you execute a trade. I don't know. I've never tried to trade it. I never tried to take in a trade on expired accounts. Because with NinjaTrader, it reminds me. It tells me like when I log on and it needs to roll over, I get a notification like, do you want to roll over these contracts? And I just go, yeah, and then it rolls over. So I never even have to remember, oh, the contract's expiring on this day, and it does? Wow. I guess it's because it's still considered a simulated account. Oh, it will reject. Okay. Yeah, we're not just stuck sideways. But yeah, that's why I kind of have to pay attention. That's why I used to trade options, so I already have a brokerage. I have TD Ameritrade from when I traded options, so I have an actual live, like, I have an actual real-time data account. So I kind of compare it there to make sure nothing is lagging. Because when I trade 7 accounts and you get filled at a horrible spot, that's freaking stressful. As I don't know, like all 7 accounts get filled at a horrible price because maybe something is lagging or something. That's the worst. How does it move? I don't get how it's moving if it's expired. Like, how is it? Usually when contracts, like when a contract expires, like there's nothing, there's no price at all. It's just flat. Like there's no volume. There's like you try to open up the chart and there's nothing there because there's no price. Maybe it's because it's a sim account. I don't know. Like there should not be any movement on those contracts because you got to think about it. Nobody's trading expired contracts, right? So there should be absolutely no movement. Maybe it's because you didn't roll over. Like if you were to right now go to those, if you could go to those old contracts, you wouldn't see any movement on them. Maybe it's because you already were in that environment. So, and it's a sim environment. I don't know. It's not a sim environment. Are you in a live? Are you in a? Did the prop firm put you in a live account? Because even if you're in a funded account, a lot of the funded accounts are still sim environment, unless the prop firm puts you in an actual live account. Yeah, sometimes prop firms will put you in an actual. Like if you keep taking payout after payout after payout, and they see that you're like, prop firms will put you in an actual live account. Some prop firms will. But you begin when you first start with a funded account and you get put in an actual funded account, it's still sim. You can get payouts, but it's just sim. Do you do this full time? By full time, till 11 o'clock. I have other things. I buy and sell cars. I buy and fix cars and sell them. Actually, I have somebody coming at 11, so I'm probably gonna have to hop off soon. But yeah, I do this from 9:30 till 11. I don't think trading should ever be your full time. There's no reason for trading to ever really be your full time, you know. Unless you start making crazy money in trading, then you can make it kind of full time. But by full time, I don't think trading should ever be something you come in at 9 o'clock and you leave at 5 o'clock. Like, it typically doesn't work good. Do you do this? I honestly do this because I love it. I love trading. I love learning about trading. I love the fact that I can come in here, I can be patient, I can take a trade, and on 7 accounts I can make, you know, what is it? $1,400, right? So it's like I come in 9:30 and let's just say you're waiting, you're patient, and you take a trade. Say you don't even take a trade on Monday, you don't take a trade on Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday you have good days and you make $1,400 on Thursday and $1,400 on Friday. Like, just the possibility, just the fact that I can come in and be patient and actually make money from my patience is, I think it's pretty cool. And I love the grind of trading. I love watching price action, and being able to predict price action it's fun. If you made $100K a year in trading, you wouldn't want to do it for a living. I wouldn't, I wouldn't just do trading. Honestly, to be fairly speaking, even if I was to make $1 million a year, if I was to make $1 million a year trading, I probably would still be doing the same thing. The only thing that would change in my life is, like, I flip cars. I would just buy more expensive cars to flip. I would still be doing cars. I would still be buying and selling cars. I would just be, you know, buying and selling more expensive cars. That's it. That's all that would change. But work-wise, I don't think you should ever... Like, here's the misconception. People think that the goal is to get to a level where, like, say hypothetically in trading, you can come into the market, you can make $1,000 and leave. And people think the goal is to be able to come in, make $1,000, leave, and then just do nothing for the rest of the day. Trust me, that's not what you want to do, right? As a human, you want to be productive. You want to do something that fulfills you, right? Do something that you love to do, whether it's starting another business, whether it's doing something. You can't just be idle in life. It doesn't matter if you make, like, that's why you see, look at Elon Musk. Look at Elon Musk. He's worth what? $400 billion? Why is he still starting new companies? Why is he's working harder than all of us. He's putting in 16-hour days and working. Why? Because he can easily buy a private island and go relax on a private island for the rest of his life. But that's not what life is about. It's about continuing, improving, building something. It's fun for him. Building a new company, doing this and that. It's like, that's the point is to do something that fulfills you, that gives you this, like, you're able to provide value to society and you love to do it. Trading should give you the freedom to do other things you love. That's the whole point of it. Every millionaire, what millionaire and billionaire do you see that does absolutely nothing and just sits at home all day or just relaxes on a beach? Most of them are still starting companies and working a lot and doing all this. So, and I know, like, right, I know rich people. They work harder than most people. And it's just becomes, when you make a lot of money, It's just now money you don't worry about, but you still like, you start new businesses, you try new things, you do this and that. Life becomes fun. It's like, it's not boring. So trading should give you the freedom to do the other things you like to do. It's not something that gives you the freedom to be a lazy person and not do anything forever. Trust me when I say this, you are not going to want to do that. Trust me when speaking from a business owner that's self-employed, that I have the opportunity to take the next week off if I wanted to. Maybe I'm just built different. I don't know. Maybe I just come from a family that's just like, I don't know. But for me, if I sit at home, if I even take 2 days and I do nothing for 2 days, I start to feel like crap. Like even Sundays. Sundays are the one day where I don't do anything on Sundays. Sundays, it's a relaxed day. I don't do anything. Sundays are my worst day. I feel like absolute crap on Sundays because I don't do anything. So I'm just kind of like, that's just me. When I don't do anything productive, I feel like crap. I feel like crap even on vacations. If I go on a vacation and I'm not doing anything on vacation, I'm just laying around, I feel like crap. I feel better after a hard day's worth of work than doing nothing all day. And obviously it's productive work. I'm doing work that I have a business and I'm doing this. So that's my whole point, is you want to do something that you love to do. Whatever that is. I don't care what it is. Whether you love to freaking crochet or whatever it is. Whatever it is you love to do, you do it and you get better and better at it. That's what trading is. That's why I love trading. Because trading is something that's so difficult. And if you do it, you get better and better and better and better. It's not even about the money. It's about the freaking, like, getting good at something that 90% of people can't do. I mean, it's pretty enjoyable. And if everybody could do trading, right, trading wouldn't be enjoyable. Just like a Ferrari is special because most people can't buy a Ferrari. That's why it's special. If everybody could buy a Ferrari, then the Ferraris would not be special. So yeah, I'm just trying to save people from the thoughts of thinking that trading, like doing nothing, is the goal. Because that is the misconception in America. Trust me, retirement. Like, work so that you can retire and you can relax for the rest of your life. Why do you think most people that go to retirement, they end up they end up doing something else? Like, they try to do nothing and they end up doing something, like they need to work because they feel like they're not productive. They fall into all sorts of, they get depressed and all this kind of crap. I think life should always be something you're always getting, like, you never get to a point in life where you're like, I'm done. That's like, it never gets to that point. There's new stuff to learn. There's new challenges all the time. Whether, you start a new challenge, you figured one thing, you do something else. And it is pretty satisfying, to be honest with you. Like, I do cars, right? I flip cars. It is pretty satisfying for me to find a good deal, buy that, fix it, and then be able to sell that to someone else for a good deal. So I'm making money, I'm happy, and the person is happy because they're getting a good deal. That's the whole goal of, and you're providing value to society. You're literally providing value you're helping people out. I've helped people out that, probably I had a car that I bought, that I sold to someone that it was an older car. It was a Ford Focus that was older, but it had 20-something thousand miles, and I sold it to some kid for $3,000. He really needed a car, right? I guess he got married, and you know how it is. He gets married young, and he trying to make money. He's kind of, struggling, whatnot. He really needed a car. I sold him a $3,000 car with 20,000 miles. Like, where are you going to find that? He was super happy. He got a very reliable car. Now he doesn't have to worry about. And I'm happy I made some money. All right, this price action. Ugh! I've been playing around, leaving some runners overnight. So far, it's been good. Yeah, just make sure you have stop losses in place. Make sure you have your stop losses. You don't want to, you know, I don't like leaving. I personally, for my mentality, I hate leaving positions on when I leave, because then I'm starting to think about it and I can't concentrate on anything else I do. I'm always looking at my phone. I'm always checking. I can't do this. But like the way I trade, I love it because I can trade. I can make money. I get into a trade. I exit a trade. And when I walk away from the computer, I have no open position. I don't have to worry about trading or think about trading for the rest of the day. When I first started trading, that's all that was on my mind. It was trading. I was so obsessed with trading. Like, oh my goodness, bro. I would back test. There would be times I would be back testing at the office till like 2 a.m. And I would sit there and back test, and I would watch, you know, trading podcasts, and I would watch trading videos. And I would be so obsessed with trading. And that's kind of, I think that you kind of have to be obsessed with it to get good at it, because it's a game of patience and discipline, and it's very difficult. So if you're not obsessed with it, how are you supposed to get good at it? Then you just kind of become a gambler. All right, what time is it? All right, it's 11 o'clock. I gotta hop off. So, I had somebody that was supposed to come, but I don't know. So if you have any questions, I'll wait a little bit more because I don't know. She's supposed to call me, and if she doesn't call me, then I'll give her some time and I'm gonna leave because I gotta go eat. I haven't eaten today. Yeah, this price action is it's just sideways. You see, we're not getting breakouts. We're not getting anything. It's just kind of dead. I'll give it a couple more. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But I'll be hopping off here soon. Honestly, it's a good time to call it because, you know, it's 11 o'clock. Volume's starting to die down. This is what's amazing about trading. You can come into the market, you can take your trade, and you can walk away. You don't have to sit at the charts all day. Hour and a half, I think, is plenty. Like, who even wants to sit at the charts all day? I don't want to. I want to come in, find an opportunity, take that opportunity, and walk away. I don't want to be sitting at the charts and staring at these charts all day. So. But yeah, you gotta kind of figure out a style that suits you. That's why some people are good. Some people love to scalp. Some people love to swing trade. It just depends. One person's style and their psychology, they want to swing trade. They can't scalp. Another person's psychology, they want to only scalp. They can't swing trade. And honestly, it's the beautiful part about trading. You can make money doing so many things in trading. There's not just one way is the way to make money in trading. That's why you can't say, like, I've even had a time. I remember a time where I took a trade with a trader. We took trades pretty much at the same exact time. I took the opposite trade. I went short, he went long. And we both made money. So that's the beautiful part. Like, you could still make money. Like, there's so many strategies out there that you can make money with. You just have to have the right discipline, psychology. It is a skill that's developed. It's not something that's, you know, you can learn overnight. I mean, I've been trading full-time for 3 years, and I feel like I have so much more to learn. I have so much more to learn. And I've been trading for a long time, so. All right. I'm gonna hop off. I'll be back tomorrow, so if you want to stop by, I'll be here tomorrow. Hopefully, we had one opportunity today. It's pretty much it. But other than that, I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Don't overtrade. Walk away if you made money. Walk away if you lost money. So